Earls Court in West London, and another all-British grudge match as Chris Eubank defends his WBO Middleweight title against the quiet North Londoner Michael Watson. The two men had something in common. They'd both beaten Nigel Benn, no mean achievement. This was to be Watson's second shot at a world crown. Just over a year earlier, he'd proven himself in a brave but losing effort against Mike McCallum, that for the WBA version of the belt. With his trademark vault over the top rope, Eubank was established as Britain's most flamboyant boxer, the guy the public loved to hate. The Brighton man was growing in confidence with each successful defence, but this was reckoned to be his hardest challenge since beating Benn a year earlier. Watson was ready to make the most of his second chance. Eubank would have to be at his best.
Barry, a prediction?
Well, this is a time to sit on the fence. Both fighters look in great condition. I'm going to pick Eubanks on a close points decision. If he gets lazy, he'll lose the fight.
12 rounds for the middleweight championship of the world, the WBO version.
This fight is going to answer a lot of questions about both fighters. Has Michael Watson got over the McCallum defeat? Remember, he took a terrible pounding. He's beaten Errol Christie, he's beaten a guy called Brown from Trinidad, and he's beaten a guy that was like a blown-up welterweight from Australia so far in his comeback, but he hasn't really been tested yet. So this fight will prove whether he's still got it in him to win a world title. Watson will prove to Eubank that he has to fight 3 minutes of every round. He can't afford to get lackluster and silly. He's got to work 3 minutes of every round against Watson, or he runs a chance of losing his title here. This is going to be a superb fight. Both guys are in super condition, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this.
Physically, you could hardly separate these two men, both in the absolute peak of condition. Eubank, as Jimmy McDonald was saying, just feeding off the hostility generated by the Watson supporters. And both men perhaps susceptible to body punches. We saw Nigel Benn really hurt Chris Eubank with body punches. We saw Mike McCallum destroy Michael Watson with body punches. And it'll be interesting to see that if Watson goes ahead and tries to take the fight to Chris Eubank, whether the body shots will be the main avenue of his attack.
He's a good thinking fighter. Watch those body shots. He's aiming for the body already. He's not taking any chances. He's easing forward. He's not rushing forward, taking it bit by bit. He's using the right tactics to take the play away from Eubanks. Eubanks have got to make sure not to let him score too many points and take too big of a lead. He's got to be well in the fight. He's got to fight 3 minutes of every round. This will test whether he can do that. This fight will test that.
Well, there's no doubting to my mind that Michael Watson is a very underrated fighter, but also you wonder whether Eubank is underrated, whether we've ever seen him at his very, very best yet.
I don't think we have, and we'll only see him at his best when somebody pushes him that far. And I'll tell you what, Watson's going to push him that far for sure.
Well,
no clean punches landed yet. Just feeling each other out there. That's right. Just feeling each other out, taking our time.
A half smile almost on Eubank's face. Watson just getting the tension out of his frame in the first round. A little bit tense around the shoulders.
Rumours that both guys are having trouble making the weight. Both will bang on 11 stone 6 today. Good opening round. Even Stevens.
Yes, you couldn't really separate them in this opening session. Eubank going for a little stroll. Ronnie Davis, who is like the chief support to the Eubank Roadshow.
Well, that will tell Dave later on in the fight if he takes his time getting back to the corner. 60 seconds is little enough time to recover. And if he takes another 10 or 15 seconds getting back to his corner, he's down to 45 seconds to recover between rounds. And that's unprofessional.
Well, just an inch in it as regards height advantage. Otherwise, smack bang on the middleweight limit of 11 stone 6 pounds. Jimmy Tibbs with the dark hair, Eric Seckham with the glasses. Eric Seckham, London taxi driver. Jimmy Tibbs, well, is a man you know well, Jimmy, Mac.
Yeah, Jimmy trained me right from day one as a professional, and a lot of credit for my success, but it's got to go to Jimmy Tibbs. Absolutely first-class trainer, brilliant.
Round 2, Eubank, the champion, in gold.
The opening round was just basically a scouting mission, and I think the bombs are going to go quite soon, because Chris is looking his normal, strutting, confident, arrogant self, and it'd be interesting to see how cool Michael Watson can stay. Chris has got tremendous hand speed, which I think a lot of people tend to underestimate.
Well, for me, what Eubank's great advantages, apart from his speed and his trickery, he's got a tremendous chin, as we saw against Nigel Benn. As opposed to that, Watson's no slouch speed-wise.
The fascination about this fight has been the mixed reaction from everybody. I remember one Michael Watson fan saying, you know, I'll have my ass on it, and a fan of Chris Eubank, would have been Chris himself, said, how many asses you got? That's the kind of belief. 2 good shots from Chris there, 1-2, no problem for Michael. That was sharp. Michael Watson, you can see 2 light heavyweights who can make middleweight, 2 real big guys at the weight, and treating each other with a little bit of respect, although they're trying to play it off, but both guys ain't going reckless just yet.
Well, it's perhaps significant that in these early minutes it's Watson who's doing the coming forward, looking for Eubank, and it's Eubank, the counterpuncher, who's taking advantage of this.
That suits Chris if Michael comes on, that's what he wants him to do. But Michael, interestingly enough, has got a very good left hand, which shouldn't be underestimated. He jabs, he doubles and trebles it, and that might be his can openers for the big right hands to follow. But so far, Chris will be pleased with the way things are going.
This is not a bad round, this, for Eubank, just about shading this one. Landed some good combinations, and it'll suit him down to the ground if Watson comes forward. So, if you like, the first tactical battle won by Chris Eubank, the champion.
You could just see them both trying to outthink one another, trying to feint, trying to move, to make the other one make a mistake and draw him onto a big shot and gain a psychological advantage so early in the fight. So far it's been nip and tuck. I can always sense it in me water, this is going to be a classic. And Chris Eubank is a fighter I call percentage, and we don't know how good he really is. He got pushed in the Benn fight and he come through. Tonight I feel he may have to go even bigger and better than that. If he's capable of it, time will tell. Chris certainly tells me he is. That was a sharp right hand from Eubank, side of the head.
We're in round 2 of this 12-rounder. Eubank in yellow, Watson in white. And Eubank perhaps just showed it that round.
Eubank's good at winding people up, and he's breaking the composure of Watson and enjoying the fight so far. Playing with his trainer, playing with Watson in terms of mentally, trying to wind him up and get inside his mind. And so far, I've got to say, it looks like he's edging the mental side of things.
Well, Eubank still just sitting himself down now.
You see the slow-mo here, Chris is backing off, Michael making the fight, but there's a long swung-in left hook counter from Eubanks, which Watson was alert to, but as the fight goes on, they could become more crisp and better executed.
Watson's got to take the fight to Eubanks, and what he's doing is hasn't thrown a head punch all the way through these first 2 rounds. He's throwing body shots. Now, when he does that, he runs the risk of getting nailed with a right hand, as he has done in the last round. So
Frank Cappuccino telling both boys stay in the corner before the bell, round 3.
All down to a game of tactics. Who's going to win the tactical battle? There's no doubt that Watson has hurt Chris Eubanks with a couple of those body shots, but Eubanks has also hurt him with that long left hook that we just seen between rounds there, and a good right hand over the top.
Well, Watson has studied his videos, and he knows Eubank does not like the body shots. You can see Chris there with his elbows jammed inside, trying to block those shots. Ben so nearly beat him on body shots, Chris Eubank.
Yeah, definitely doesn't like the body shots, but has his hands down. You see, it's very difficult to land a clean body punch. Look where Chris's hands are. He's not worried about his chin. He's just worried about his body. He's got his hands down low. And it's very difficult to hit a clean body shot in between those elbows. And then, of course, Michael's walking in now with his hands, left hand down to throw that left hook to the body and walking onto them right hands. So, long way to go. And a lot of things are going to happen in the next...
Fascinating battle. You can almost see trying to outthink each other. Tremendous.
Chess with gloves, this is. And you can forget all the bull and the hype pre-fight about them not respecting one another, because they do and they do now. And Michael Watson has taken a couple of good shots.
There was good shots as well, Dave. Bang on. Very accurate.
Well, if we wondered how much Mike McCallum did take out of him tonight, we will find out. Eubank so cool. That was a good right to the body from Watson. Eubank looks at him as if to say, how dare you?
Eubank is starting to get accurate now, though, Dave. He's letting the shots go in clusters and getting through with 2 and 3 at a time. Is that a sign of what's to come?
Oh, there's a long way to go yet, Jimmy.
And, you know, Michael's so crab-like, so good defensively as well. It's hard to hit with a clean shot. I'm surprised to see him get with 3 on the spin.
Good round for the champion, that one.
Welcome, Grapple fans!
Welcome indeed to the world of grapple with our very own Grapplemeister, Sid Waddell.
Ow, that was a bit below the belt.
Featuring Kendo Nagasaki from Stoke-on-Trent. And arch-enemy Sainton McManus.
Ow, my arm!
And in a world where the bigger the better, the crowd's favourite, Big Daddy! And not forgetting the mountain himself, Giant Haystacks, all 48 stone of him!
Sid Waddell's Wrestling Show!
Tomorrow at 11:30 on ESPN Classic. It's mental!
Ding ding. Focus. Cells tab. Hand special. Whoops. The dental swoosh. Foreign patch. Fiscal paper. Yay. Stupid Zeus. Freezers. Twice. 3. Box. To box. Integration. Rectangle. Fuzzy. Buzzword. Growing. Rome. Grow it. Planetary.
Email and instant messenger on your mobile.
Ba, baby bear.
Help for a life without tobacco.
Because everyday life is the real adventure, Fiat has created the Sedici 4x4. Drive one today and don't pay until January. Fiat Sedici, because everyday life is 4x4.
Apparently this is a self-cleaning car. Well, here goes. Interesting. Was that supposed to be happening? Oh! Oh, look out. Incoming. No, if you're looking for an ingenious idea that really does work, it has to be Pilkington Active, the world's first self-cleaning glass. Pilkington Active. Come on, world. Do keep up.
You could describe equestrianism as riding on horseback, but it's so much more than that. It's a bond between rider and animal. It's about building trust. It's forming the perfect partnership. Get it wrong and you'll hit the ground. Get it right and you'll be flying. the spirit of equestrianism. Friday at 7 on ESPN Classic.
This program is brought to you by Rolex.
Round 5.
Round 5.
Yeah, Eubanks has got to come, you know, he's not going to say he's got to come forward. He knows what he's got to do. He's got to work a bit more. He can't run the risk of letting Watson, you know, take an early lead. And although Eubanks looked extremely confident in the last round, you know, Watson was scoring with points in that. So it'll be interesting to see the individual judging from, you know, the separate judges. They will make their mind up, obviously. But there's no hometown favourite here. They're both domestic fighters, and you know, they're judges from different parts of the world. This is a very close fight, and both guys are boxing absolutely superbly. The tactics have been excellently executed, and it's really you know, it's a game of physical chess here. They're trying to outscore one another, outthink one another, and it's whoever breaks the other tactics first, whoever breaks his way of thinking. Oh, what a right hand! Beautiful shot. That was the best shot of the fight, Dave. What a right hand, fantastic.
And that was out of nowhere. That was so quick, and you saw Watson's knees just wobble.
Already Watson's left eye is swelling. That was a superb shot, absolutely beautiful shot.
And indeed, a little swelling starting to appear on Watson's left cheek, but he took that shot very well.
Indeed he did. That was a superb right hand. That's been Eubank's best shot. That right hand has hit him right on the money. Every single one of them landed right on the button. And that's the problem, you see. Watson's got to come forward and use those body shots, but he runs the risk of getting nailed with that right hand, and he has done all night long, but that's the most severe right hand he took so far. And all the time Eubank's confidence is gone, but he can't get too cocky. He can't allow Watson to come back and score and flick with punches. And Watson is, you know, he's a hell of a fighter. Oh, beautiful left hook. This is a superb fight.
When Eubank gets you on the hook, he doesn't let you off too often. Watson says, you want to rumble? Fine by me. Good fight.
Bloody brilliant fight there. What a fight.
You can see Watson already marking up around the eyes, a few little bumps and swellings.
You see that when Eubanks actually started to come forward a bit, he was more effective. He came forward, he went back, he's using the right sort of tactics, he's changing it all the time, he's being offensive, he's been defensive, he's boxing very well. This is a bad round for Watson. He's taken a lot of shots in this round, and for the first time has been badly wobbled.
Yeah, the Watson corner looking a little bit anxious in this fifth round. But the crowd, the bulk of the Watson fans getting behind the Londoner. But as Barry said, that was a good round for Chris Eubank. And Eubank not even back in his corner yet, just strutting around the ring.
I wish he wouldn't do that, Dave. You know, he's such a talented fighter. He doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to pose. We all know he's a poser, but he should get back to the corner. He's only got 60 seconds to recover there, and he shouldn't be wasting that vital time on the side of the ring posing at the crowd.
I think he just feeds off the adrenaline, Barry, that the reaction from the crowd gets to him.
Here's this right hand. What's that now? That is right down the button there. Absolutely perfect shot. And Watson was badly hurt with that shot. That's the best right hand. And of course, look at the accuracy of Eubank's follow-up shots. I think we get another glimpse of it here. That left hook hit him right on the button too. You know, 3 or 4 good, real heavy shots in that round. Big round for Eubank.
Well, after that round, you know, Eubank looks to me to have gone into the driving seat. He seems to be boxing his own fight, letting Watson make the fight, make the chase for the titles on, and Chris is enjoying Watson's advances. And as the fight goes on, Eubank is going to grow in confidence if he gets through with many more shots like he did in the previous round.
Well, there's no doubting at all now that Eubank has established an ascendancy of sorts over Michael Watson, but he won't keep it if Watson drills him too many good rights like that.
Chris is trying to play with Watson's mind. You know, he's tremendous at winding the opposition up. People have said the best tactic for Watson would be to be canny and try and draw Eubanks into him, but Chris makes the rules when he's in there. That was a good right hand from Watson that time, counter. Eubanks didn't even budge. Now what Watson needs now, he needs to score with something solid, something hard to make Eubanks show a little bit of respect, because at the moment he's treating him with a little bit of contempt.
Watson got in a couple of good headshots then, and Eubank just acknowledged them. It's better round for Watson.
Yeah, he's come back out and took back into the driving seat. He's got through with 1 or 2 good right hands and starting to advance and up the pace. Chris, the cool pot picker as always.
And Frank Cappuccino, the American ref, to his eternal credit, just letting him get on with it. Good refereeing.
Now, Watson now knows in the back of his mind that Eubanks can hurt him, because he's definitely shook up a little bit in the last round. So he knows he's got to keep his mind 100% on the job.
More to the point, Jimmy, he's got in a couple of good shots himself as Mike Watson, but I don't think he can hurt Chris Eubank.
Now we know for sure that Eubanks has got what he calls a cast iron chin. There he goes again. People love him, they hate him, but you've got to respect him. He backs up what he says. That's a sign of a good fight, what Watson's doing, coming forward without running onto shots. He's coming forward correctly, not getting nailed in nothing, and just trying to set Eubanks up for the heavy armoury. Good round from Watson.
Yes, it certainly is, especially after the stick he took in the last round, and I've got him taking this one on my card.
Yeah, he's come back in this round. Chris seems to switch on and off.
Just worried about the little swellings around the Watson eyes. Eubank is such an accurate and damaging puncher. He'll have noticed those. He'll be aiming for those for those spots.
They both landed with a right hand there, Dave. Bang on.
But right on the belt. Watson's round.
Watson's round, but a fascinating fight. No one's really gained the upper hand. The last round, I thought Chris might have just got into the driving seat, but Watson's pushed him back out of it.
You know, I tell you, you got 12,000 people. You can see about 20 of them there. 12,000 people. And they're loving this. You see Jimmy Tibbs working with the ice. Now that is a piece of steel. It's ice cold, and it's designed just to get the swelling down.
I still feel both fighters are just creeping up through the gears. I think we're going to see an explosion of action in another round or two. You know, they're both going to try and impose. Here's Watson getting through with the shots we were talking about. Straight left and a right, bang on, but no even signs of being hurt from Chris Eubank.
The problem is, Jimmy, of course, Eubanks had a good last round, a big last round. Then he got cocky, overconfident, allowed Watson to come out and take the next round. He can't do that. He's got to, if he's the champion, he's got to take control and keep control of the fight.
There's his chance to push on the takedown.
Here he goes, round 7.
Will we have another big round from Eubanks? He's coming at him this time. Tremendous fight. I don't have to tell you that, you can see it, what a fight. Now this is going to be down to who's the fittest of the two guys and who wants it the most. Second half of the fight, blistering pace, lots of punches thrown. And I'll tell you what, Eubanks has worked harder in these first 7-6 rounds than he did in the Benn fight, and there's still a long way to go. Look how alert Eubanks was. The referee shouted at him, you know, your punches are low, Chris, and he just nodded at him. And
he said sorry. He said sorry.
Yeah. Now, you know, what's the judges going to do about Watson coming forward? Are they going to score points for his aggression, or are they going to give Eubanks points for picking his shots?
That's a very good point, because there's no doubt that Watson is certainly throwing more punches, but the quality shots are coming from Eubank.
Slowly creeping forward. And remember, American judges favour aggression, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Eubank talking to Watson now.
You know, Eubanks, it looks like Eubanks is, you know, taking a breather again. He had a good round 2 rounds back. He started off this round good, but now he's taking a break again. That's what I said. He can't run the risk of falling into little lapses of concentration and allowing Watson to build up the score again.
These are dangerous tactics.
Gotta keep going, gotta keep throwing punches. And even if he's not throwing punches, you gotta look like you're working, moving your head, bobbing and weaving, moving those shoulders and moving those hands. It always looks impressive to the judges. Oh, what's the referee?
Well, that was a little backhander from the elbow, and that was a little naughty, and the referee picked that up. And that was silly. That was shades of the backhand up, the back head up, that nearly got him disqualified against Dan Sherry. He has these little moments of madness, does Chris Eubank sometimes, and that was one of them.
Switch to the body there, Eubanks. Watson coming in on top, closing the distance down, looking to the body. Eubanks making himself a small target when he drops that head down, keeps his hands up, moves his head out of the way, and there's a hard target to hit. Good right hand from Watson. You know, that's a very even round. It'll be up to the judges, the individual judges, to decide who's won and lost that round.
Well, the thing is that, as we've said, there's going to be no hometown decision in this fight. We've got 2 North American judges and a South American one. The North Americans, they do unquestionably put great store upon aggression, and the aggression is coming from Michael Watson. However, a lot of the shots are not landing. Chris Eubank is fending them off.
Yeah, the harder shots have been coming from Chris Eubank. The cleaner shots have been coming from Chris Eubank. The more work has been coming from Michael Watson. Although sometimes he's not throwing punches, he's coming forward, moving his upper body, moving his torso, bobbing and weaving, and making himself a difficult target to hit. It's a very interesting fight. I'm sitting on the fence here, Dave.
Well, that was the quietest round of the fight so far. Now, we're going to take a look at this little incident. Just the elbow. Well, we were on the blind side of the camera, and although we were on the blind side of the camera, we were not on the blind side of Frank Cappuccino, who spotted that and just had a little word with Eubank. To Watson's credit, he didn't do a Dan Sherry and do a dying swan, but well, Eubank will have to watch that. That was silly.
All I can say to anyone looking in back home, the fight, the class, the moves, they speak for themselves. Just keep watching. We've got better to come, I'm sure. Brilliant. I think Eubank is sensing now that the fight's too close for comfort. He's going to try and take over. No, Michael Watson knows he's faced McCallum before, so his confidence is sky high. It's his second attempt at the world title, and he wants it so bad.
The left eye is getting ever narrower, Michael Watson now.
Eubank's very ambitious with a left hook there, because that was one of these early successful punches, but Watson seems to be alert to it now. So the class of the fight is right at the top draw from both fighters. Chris seems to fight in spasms. He fights for 10-15 seconds as he did at the start of the round, and then goes back into his shell and walks and tries to set you up for a sneak right hand. Watson's getting a bit between his teeth and fancying it more and more as the rounds roll by. Conditioning could come into this one.
There's no doubting that Michael Watson's been on a little bit of a roll the last couple of rounds. And it's a dangerous tactic of Eubank, taking a break. If you surrender the initiative, it's hard to get it back.
Two things have happened in this round that I've noticed. Watson's getting accurate, he's not missing, he's not got through nothing dynamic, but he's not taking those shots back now. He's become alert to what Eubanks has got in his armoury. Like that big right hand there, you see Watson, the gloves are tucked up to it. Earlier on in the fight, he got nailed once or twice. So, you know, it's a bonus point for Watson for this round. They're still making the fight, and you know how these Americans look at fights. Watson's forcing it, but he's got to, because as we've said before, Chris is the defending champion.
Yeah, Eubank has hardly thrown a punch in this round, and those that he has thrown have been blocked.
They're feinting and kidding each other out of it. That's a good shot from Watson. Left hook up the belly. Chris digging in now, trying to fire back with some body shots of his own. One of Watson's most successful shots has been his basic left jab. Straight through the middle. Boom, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
You know, the fight is swinging in fortunes. Now you're looking at it, Watson looks a little on top. Not by a big margin, but just little ingredients that you see. He's not getting nailed, and he's getting home with shots of his own. You can't call the shots because they're all good quality, and so many of them. Good
Oh, he got caught with a right hand right on the belt.
That's a cracker.
I don't see it happening.
No, it's gonna happen.
My top tip when it comes to a bargain, buy quality. McDonald's Bacon Cheeseburger, only 99p. The Junior Chicken Mayo, only 99p. And the Double Cheeseburger, only £1.19. McDonald's Pound Saver menu, a real investment in pleasure.
At DFS, your sofa is designed around you. Your style, your colour. Not forgetting your budget. Whether you're making the move or you're just making changes, it's designed to make things easy for you. You get 4 years free credit and you don't pay a thing for a year. So you should come and get at least £300 off every sofa and corner group in the 07 collection at DFS. It's very you.
I'm stuck in my car with a headache which feels like this when I try to move my head and just keeps thumping away like this. But I've taken Nurofen, which speeds straight to the source of pain, so I feel like my headache's washing away like this. And for faster pain relief, try Nurofen liquid capsules.
You can now get AOL wireless broadband with a free router for just $14.99 a month. Do we really need wires to communicate?
Offensive, Eubanks. I know he doesn't like to go forward, but he is better when he comes forward, and he does hit Watson with combinations, not when he's landing or loading with one big shot like he was trying in that last one with the right hand. If he comes forward and just throws his punches lightly and throw them in combinations, he doesn't need to land with a big shot. It's the light ones that do the trick. The fast light ones, they're the ones that do the damage. And the referee warned him from using the head there. He's trying a big one all the time because he should be putting more emphasis on speed and bunches of punches, not just 1 and 2. Because that's what Watson's doing. Watson's throwing 3 and 4 punches in each combination.
All through this fight, Michael Watson has just not stopped working, and if it comes to points, I've got a hunch he could reap rich dividends from that.
It's a very close fight, Dave.
It's very close. I've got Michael Watson around in front at the moment.
Good right uppercut from Chris Eubank. He's got to work now. The end of this fight is closing, and he's got to throw more punches. He's not doing enough. I did see at the beginning he's got to work more than just 45 seconds of each round. He's got to work right the way through. Throw loads of punches, and even if they're not connecting, throw them.
And after a quite shaky first 2 or 3 rounds, Watson is just growing and growing in confidence.
Again, Chris Eubank's trying to load up with those punches. He's trying to get a knockout blow with each shot. Should be throwing them in combinations, faster.
Well, the heavier shots are from Eubank, but just not enough. Ronnie Davis doing his crossed in the corner right next to me, I tell you.
And you see, when he comes forward, Dave, he's stopping Watson working. Another good club and right hand, but he's got to throw more of them. He's putting too much emphasis on that big club and right hand over the top.
Well, the single shots are hurting, but he's simply not throwing enough of them. He's trying to lure Watson in. Ronnie Davis. I tell you, it's harder being outside the ring than inside the ring.
Watson turning southpaw there. Unorthodox again. That's a good left hook. That's the sort of shot to land. He's really hurt Watson there, but has he enough left to finish him?
No, I don't think he's got the time in this round.
He hurt him really with that left hook. That was a beautiful shot.
Watson coming back. Better round for Eubank.
Now you see, Dave, this is where, you know, where do the judges decide that the accumulation of punches from Watson is more than the clean, solid shot from Eubank? This is what it boils down to.
Oh, he's got him again.
He's got him, put a sustained effort in.
Watson snarls and shakes his head. We're reaching the end of this round. There's the bell.
Get back to your corner, Chris. Stop wasting time.
Yeah, Ronnie Davis quite right. You don't have time to go and showboat to the crowd, get back in the corner, and you've got to rest, because you have got 9 minutes, Chris Eubank, to hang on to your world title. It could be that close.
It is very close. I mean, it's even Stevens at the moment. It's all in the last 3 rounds. Look at Ronnie Davis slapping his face in the corner. He's saying, get your act together. Come on, pull it out of the bag. You're going to lose your title here. He knows how close it is. I don't think Chris realises. It's very difficult when you're in there. You think you're doing enough, maybe you're not. These are some great shots here. That left hook from Eubanks. That was when Watson had turned southpaw.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Now the fight's reached the stage where both fighters, all the training, all the conditioning, it's all got to come in now, because they're going to have to dig deep, because skill-wise, they're on a par. And Eubanks and me won the last round, the accuracy of his shots, but he's got to do more of it, because Michael still looks strong and he's going to keep coming right to the very end.
You can't really separate these two boys. It's down to guts now. It's down to will to win.
This is where Eubanks expected to take over before the fight. Around about the ninth round, he said he'd start really up in the pace. If Watson was still there, he said. Well, Michael's certainly still there, and the fight is very close.
Eubank, as he's done maybe too often, still looking for that one decisive shot. He may find it and make fools out of all of us, but it's Michael Watson who's still sticking to the basics, getting the jab working.
Well, one thing's for sure, Dave, the fight's lived up and surpassed its expectations. The quality has been brilliant. Counter punches.
Well, in its own way, this is better than the Ben fight.
I had a feeling it would be.
Better than when both men fought Ben.
Watson's still coming forward, still tasting the title, still forcing the pace. And Chris switches on and off, fights in spurts. We are the judge are looking at, we don't know. Both two tremendously strong men for middleweights. Fascinating strength.
And very determined. Very brave.
Watson's getting a little bit casual with his hands now. He needs to keep them up, because Chris only needs one opening. He's very sharp.
And Eubank trying to move up a gear.
But Watson's staying with him, that's the fascinating thing. He won't let him get the upper hand. And they're both really determined now to back up all the pre-fight hype.
Eubank trying to lure Watson onto these destructive counters.
I don't know if that was low, but Chris looked out for a split second, but coming back with shots of his own. Getting a little bit erratic, Chris. The composure seems for a split second to come out of him.
Well, that was the body shot.
And Michael obviously noticed, closing the gap. Oh, what a
tremendous round this.
What a cracking fight. No good looking out the ring, no one's going to help you now.
Eubank does look in a little bit of trouble in this round.
He certainly is.
He's going.
I think the tiredness has finally crept in. The body shots have paid their price, which has been taken all through the fight. Now it's down to will to win.
He's looking a little bit wobbly now, is Chris Eubank. And Watson's looking desperately tired as well.
But Watson's still forcing the pace. Chris has got to dig in if he wants to retain his title. The quality's coming out of his work now, and he's just getting sloppy and throwing shots for the sake of throwing them.
And Eubank sucking in huge gulps of air.
He's going to need them. He's still got another 2 tough rounds in front of him. How'd you score that round, Dave?
I gave that round to Michael Watson.
Yeah, I've got to agree. The fight is really up for grabs now, and it's coming down to who wants it most. And both of these fighters have individually gone on record and said that is what would happen if it reached this stage. Now the time is, let's see.
This is the combination that Watson landed with. It's the first time he got through with a good left hook to the body. And look at the reaction from Eubanks. They're so tired now, it really exhausted him. Took all the steam out of him, and he looked at 6s and 7s at the end of that round. He was really desperate. The accuracy and the composure are gone completely. It's all in the last 6 minutes.
Absolutely.
Eubanks is desperately tired. Those body punches really hurt him in that round, and he showed a lot of pain and a lot of hurt, and Watson has got to be encouraged by that. And look at, he's going straight for the body, Watson, straight into the solar plexus. And you see, the difference is that Ben is so... I'm getting excited myself here. The problem is that Chris Eubanks is trying to land a big knockout shot. That's not going to happen. He's got to throw combinations.
That was a slip. No knockdown. No knockdown.
He threw out into that shot and he fell on his butt.
Just a slip. Well, he had to dig so deep to beat Nigel Bender, Chris Eubank. He will have to dig even deeper tonight.
He's got to throw light punches, Eubank. He's got to throw light, fast punches like that. Just keep in the fight with those flaky punches, because that's what Watson's doing.
And it's Watson who maybe is finishing the stronger of these two.
Again, Chris, trying to utilise that big punch. It's not going to happen, Chris. You've got to start throwing fast punches, because he's starting to steal it from you. Watson is starting to win this fight.
Well, it's all very well talking to your opponent, but he could be minutes away from being an ex-world champion and defeated for the first time in his professional career, Chris Eubank. Watson, a smear of blood under his nose, blowing, tired, but not as tired, I fancy, as Chris Eubank is right now.
Well, he hasn't taken many clean shots in the last 3 or 4 rounds, and he's landed some good ones, in particular those left hooks to the body. Little sharp, hooky shots to the body, and they've been really hurting Chris. Chris has got to pull it out of the bag now. Good right hand. Another one, beautiful shot.
Eubank pouring it on, but he's too tired to press on that advantage. A little flurry, and then Watson it is who comes straight back.
And Watson's not that badly hurt, Dave. He was stunned by that shot, but not badly shaken. Again, he's moseying forward, shuffling his shoulders, not throwing punches, but shuffling his shoulders, and that's going to look impressive to the judges. This is a very beautiful left hook from Eubanks. Good finish to this round. Yes, good right hand. What a fight. Oh, another clubbing right hand around the side.
I tell you, both these boys are drained right now.
Absolutely exhausted.
Inside the last 10.
Good round for Eubanks. Finished the round very strongly, but lost the first half of it.
Well, I tell you, Barry, with 1 round to go on my card, they are absolutely level.
Yeah, it's dead even. Remember, Eubanks is the champion. You always have to be a bit better than the champion to take the title away from him. And, at times Watson has been better. At times Eubanks has looked superb. This has been an exhilarating fight, and it's dead close.
Well, you see that right hand that Chris has tried time and time again. The big shot that comes over, and early in the fight he had a lot of success with it, but in that round, as Barry said, rightly so on the commentary, that it was more of a stunning shot than a devastating one. But that was a great round, and so I've got to come down with the champion on that round for his accuracy of shots, but this is going to be a tough 3 minutes for the both of them, because they know it's close for both of them now.
Well, I tell you, are we 3 minutes away from Eubank keeping not only his world title, but his unbeaten record. Where are we 3 minutes away from a new world champion? And a third option could be a draw. Let's not forget that.
Remember, if it's a draw, Dave, the champion retains his title.
That's right.
The news round ringside from people who probably ain't as heavily involved as us is that they've got Eubank, believe it or not, 4 rounds in front.
Well, I find that hard to believe.
Yeah. I mean, we're so involved, it's hard to... But they both know they need a big round. Eubank's trying to finish like a champion with arrogance and combinations.
This has been a fight to remember this.
Watson staying cool, not panicking, but Chris is really going for broke now. He knows there's no need to rest now, there's no more rounds like this one. Let it all go, let it all hang out.
Well, one big last round for me will swing this for either man.
Watson still trying to take the fight to Chris. Got for a good right hand counter there. So Chris is still in the judge's eyes with a showboat in. You know, when there's no clean scoring game, the crowd are taking off when Eubank's done a little bit of showboating. But all the rounds that have gone by, this one has been as good as all of them. This fight has surpassed, for me anyway, the Ben fight.
Indeed it has. The crowd booing unfairly.
Watson still needs to dig in if he wants to nick this title. Chris has let a lot of shots go. They haven't been that accurate, but he's let them go.
Well, Watson has hardly taken a backward step in this fight. You can't separate them in this last round either. And a microcosm, if you like, the quality shots from Eubank, the quantity from Michael Watson.
Storming fight, absolutely brilliant.
Worthy of a world championship, this.
No wonder people were sitting on the fence and predicting a winner. Good right hand from Watson that time.
You give one, you take one.
Both fighters fighting on an empty tank now, no doubt about that.
A last rally from Eubank. Showboating. Charismatic to the last, this man.
Watson pushing it, still tasting the title, but Chris as cool and composed, I must say, as ever, even though he's absolutely shattered and has been for the last 3 rounds. He really is tired now, Chris. He'll be glad to hear the bell.
That's Eubank finishing the title with a 2. Watson, jab, 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 jab. That's how you get points. That's what wins you rounds. Eubank, a last lung-shattering effort.
What a brilliant fight.
One of the best, Jimmy, one of the best.
This guy. This is one of the best I've seen for a long time. Both guys are going to think they've got the title. Now it's up to the judges.
Good security in the ring.
Well, that fight, the credit to both fighters, their trainers, and everybody involved, because it was a cracker. And
I've got to tell
the atmosphere is what boxing's all about. Tremendous.
I'm not sitting on the fence. Truly, I'm not, Jimmy, but I'll make them dead level.
If that's the case, then Chris will be as happy as anyone because he'll retain his title.
Barry? That is sitting on the fence, Dave, because he's making dead level. Well, I tell you, I'm going to pass on this one. That was so close.
I'll pass with you, pal.
Yeah, that was a superb fight. It'll be up to the judges. I'm going to leave it. That's their job. My job's a commentator, myself and Jimmy. We'll leave it to the judges, but I'll tell you, that was a superb fight.
Well, we will
We'll
see what the judges score. Alan Hughes, our MC, will announce the scoring. Whatever happens.
Now we'll find out what way the judges judge aggression or quality punches, and you know, is Watson going to be the winner for his accumulative punches, or is Eubank going to retain his title for his quality shots? Here we go.
That's the million-dollar question.
It must be close, the time they're taking to check these cards. It must be close. Here we go.
Is it a majority?
Judge Carlos Colon scores the contest 116 points to 113 points in favour of Chris Eubank.
116-113 Eubank from Carlos Colon from South America.
I think Chris is going to retain his title.
Ladies and gentlemen, Judge John Rupert scores the contest, 114 points to each boxer. A draw on John Rupert's card.
John Rupert from the United States, 114 apiece.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Eubank can't lose his title now.
Laurie scores the contest, 115 points to 113. The winner, and still
he's got it.
Champion of the world.
Eubank has retained his title.
The judges, 116, 113 Eubank. That's the South American verdict. John Rupert of America, 114, 114, a draw. So whatever Arthur Lurie had scored at, Chris Eubank could not have lost.
Uncomfortably close, and next morning the papers were full of the controversy. Many felt the judges had got it wrong. A rematch was called for. The public wanted it, the boxers wanted it. 3 months later, they would have it. And that fight would be even more memorable.